Let's
Recording
get
in
started.
progress.
Okay, so let's go over to another warm-up. And I got your audio messages, so we will focus. I mean, yesterday or last lesson, we were talking about focusing on what I'd call organic conversation. So conversations that you'd actually hear if you just listened in, if you were just spying on native English speakers talking. And also, I think as far as you didn't have a chance to answer my question. Do you find that you stammer when you speak Mandarin?
Mm, yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes.
sometimes.
Okay, then I don't think it has to do with your English abilities. I think it's probably just part of the way you speak. Just like I might say the wrong word or I
Is
might
that
mispronounce something.
speech disorder?
Although,
Kind of.
I wouldn't go that far. I think it's just a common thing that people do, more of a speech pattern.
Don't know.
And I think that for it doesn't really, I mean, you started when you were 19. Some people started much later than that. I don't think it, I'm not behavioral psychologist or anything, so I don't want to talk about a field that I don't have expertise in, but I think that you're fine. I think that that whole thing about like there being a window for language learning, I think that's been debunked, but I'm not 100% on that.
It's debunked.
I think so. I think if you look at it logically, children would be more likely to pick up language through immersion because they have to. Like they literally have to communicate to get milk, to get food, whatever, because otherwise they're not going to survive, right? They have to move on from just crying or making gurgling noises to actually communicating. And that's why babies learn languages so fast. I don't think it's that their brains are specially set up to learn language, but who knows? I think that's outside of my field, so I don't want to speak.
Because
You
they
know,
say that the learning process for kids will be much faster, while adults
adults
slower.
sorry, your audio is coming in and out.
Yeah,
yeah,
wait a
wait a
moment,
moment.
let me change it. I only have one microphone, which is the Realtek one.
Yeah, same. All right, I can hear you fine now.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, it's
I
fine
can
now.
hear you. It's good. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, I listened to your messages and
I don't know why I got emotional yesterday night and then I sent you that. Because
well,
I am actually I'm hesitating whether I should let go of other subjects because I teach math and science, but it doesn't work very well. So I'm actually thinking of taking a switch to fully focus on English, but I still find myself quite weak lah if I compare myself with others. Because I only started learning English when I was 19. I mean, quite slow this. So
I think your English is excellent. So I think comparing yourself with other people is a trap because it works two ways. Overconfident people will look at people who are less skilled than them and they'll say, "Oh, look how skilled I am." And then underconfident people will look at people who are more skilled than them and they'll say, "Oh, look how unskilled I am." So like there's always going to be someone below and above you. And this is I don't want to tell you stuff that you already know. You know, it's common sense, but you just have to sort of focus on your own progress and compare yourself to yourself 1 year ago or 2 years ago or even 1 month ago, and then you'll see your progress and feel good about it. I don't think that comparing yourself with other people is a good idea ever.
oh, okay. Yeah.
Especially with something that's very individual, like learning a language,
Because whenever I speak to someone who is quite superior than me, I feel I get a little bit nervous. Sometimes I cannot find a word. I don't know whether it happens to you or not, happens on you. Or not.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I I do my best with Thai, but it happened to me with Spanish. It's been a long time since I studied Spanish, but I talked to another foreigner who isn't even a Spanish native speaker, and he was just like, I don't know, your Spanish sounds very white, like you speak Spanish like gringo. Gringo is like a white person in Spanish. So I was like, oh man, my Spanish really sucks. Which is actually, I mean, my Spanish isn't very good because I haven't practiced it in years. But anyway, let's not get too off topic. I think it's normal to be a little nervous around people when they're native speakers or when they're more proficient in a language. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay, that's a nice advice from you.
Thanks. I'm glad to give it. Okay, so do you have something to write with? Or you can type.
You want me to share the screen or you will?
No, it's the same as last time. I have some warm-ups.
Oh, you mean you want me to write it on a piece of paper?
Sure, yeah.
Wait a moment, let me get a paper. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. The session kicks off with a 10-minute progressive warm-up and finishes with a 10-minute cool down and stretch. One more time. The session kicks off with a 10-minute progressive warm-up and finishes with a 10-minute cool down and stretch.
The session kicks off with a 10-minute progressive warm-ups and
Warm-up
10 minutes and another 10 minutes.
and finishes with a 10-minute cool down and stretch. Warm up and cool down they're hyphenated. So there's a hyphen between warm and up and cool and down.
Oh, okay. So with the 10-minute progressive warm-ups and finishes with the 10-minute.
10-minute cool down and stretch. 10-minute is hyphenated also.
And stretches. Right.
Stretch, singular.
Or stretch. The session kicks off with the 10-minute progressive warm-ups and finishes with a 10-minute cool down and stretch.
Warm up doesn't have an S.
Oh, okay.
Warm up is singular here. Okay, number 2. This is actually 2 sentences, a question and a phrase. Are you coming to Vincent's birthday? I've heard it'll be quite the soiree. Are you coming to Vincent's birthday? I've heard it'll be quite the soiree.
I don't get a word at the back.
Soiree, it's another term for a party.
Sorry. Oh, I've never heard of it. But never mind. Oh,
It comes from French. I'm trying to introduce new vocabulary.
but never mind. I'll skip this. So I can only write down a question.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You can still write the second part though, like the first part of it.
Are you coming to Vincent's birthday and then what's
I've heard it'll be quite the soiree. Just do your best to write soiree.
I've
It doesn't have
heard
to. It'll be
it will be
quite the
quite
soiree.
a
And
soiree.
yeah, please use the contracted form of it will. So say it'll,
Oh, okay.
use a contraction there.
It will be quite an estuary.
Quite the soiree.
The soiree.
Soir. It's like noir, if you know. Have you seen like a type of wine called Pinot Noir?
No.
I don't actually know how the first part is pronounced, but it's pronounced, the second part is pronounced noir. Soiree is, we'll go over it later. Don't worry about it. Okay. Number 3. The emperor magnanimously offered to spare the losing gladiator's life. The emperor magnanimously offered to spare the losing gladiator's life.
The emperor magnanimously.
Magnanimously offered to spare the losing gladiator's life. Magnanimously offered to spare the losing gladiator's life.
The emperor and magnanimously offered to spare
The losing gladiator's life.
the losing gladiator's
Life.
life.
Mhm.
That's all. Okay, done.
All right, number 3. I would be grateful to hear from anyone who may be able to help. I would be grateful to hear from anyone who may be able to help.
I would be grateful from anyone who may be able to help.
I would be grateful to hear from anyone who may be able to help.
Okay, done.
Easy. Okay, number 5. The general authorized the withdrawal of troops from the field. The general authorized the withdrawal of troops from the field. And that word is withdrawal.
Withdrawal, yeah. That's mean like you withdraw the money from the ATM, that one.
It just means to take something out. So in this case, you're withdrawing troops. So you're taking the soldiers out.
That's mean the retreat.
Yeah. In this
Okay.
case,
Is a retreat considered as a noun?
verb.
Or
Actually,
retreat
no. When you say the retreat, yes, it's a noun. If you say we must retreat, then it's a verb.
Okay. The general authorized the withdrawal of
Troops from the field. If you
Oh.
give it like an order, retreat, retreat, then it's a verb. If you say the retreat or a retreat, then it's a noun because you're talking about the retreat. Same with a lot of verbs, actually.
Mhm.
Like swim. Let's swim. It's a verb. But if you say, let's go for a swim, then it's a noun.
Like whenever we want to start a sentence with an action, right? Normally, do we put ing at the back? Like we say exercise is beneficial for us, or you say exercising is beneficial for us?
Both are correct. I would use exercise.
You can just put the
Yeah.
root right in front.
Like It actually ties in. I'm gonna show you the answers now.
Okay,
You're ready, right?
yeah.
So it ties into one of the warm-up sentences. Okay, so I'll number them so that it's easier. What?
The session kicks off with a 10-minute progressive warm-up
Yeah.
and finishes with a
Oh,
10
oops, I did the wrong.
cool down and stretch. Okay.
I should have these numbered.
I've heard it will be quite the sort. Oh,
Soiree.
okay.
Yeah.
I learned
It's
this.
actually French and it means night, but in English, like NIGHT. But because people were using it to describe events that happened at night, like parties or balls. You know what balls are? Like as a party, it's like a formal party, like a
Oh,
ball.
balls,
You
like
went
the
to
ballroom.
Cinderella.
Ballroom. Ballroom
Yeah.
is the place where
Hold a ball.
they hold the ball. They don't
Mhm.
hold the party. They hold the ball.
Same. A ball is just a fancy word for a party.
But it's more formal, right? How about the
Much more
prom?
formal.
How about the
Prom is specific to high school.
Oh, okay. Well, I've heard it will be quite the sort.
Soiree. It's like saying I've heard it will be quite the party. When you say quite the something, it means like it'll really be something. Like you're dramatically understating something. Like it'll be quite the something, and you're making it you're speaking in an understated way rather than saying it's gonna be amazing. You'll just say, I've heard it'll be quite the event. And what that means is you're talking it up and making it sound like it's gonna be pretty wild or pretty exciting.
Okay. Got it.
And the thing I wanted to talk about is warm up, right? It's used in the same way as exercise. So, like we say warm ups, right? But there's also warm up. So it's a warm up. It means like the whole session is called a warm up. Let me explain that better. Um, so your example was exercise is beneficial for the body and mind. I'm changing it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Exercising is beneficial they're both correct grammatically, but the first one is better English because we want to talk about exercise as sort of an abstract, talking about it as an abstract concept, like the concept of exercise, rather than when you say exercising, it's more talking about like it brings to mind the physical part of it rather than talking about the idea of exercising. So here, it's like saying speech is based on many auditory and visual cues versus speaking. So basically it's subtle, and if you want to say exercising you can, but in this case I would stick with exercise. Like diet, you could do this with diet too.
So diet is considered as an abstract noun, right?
Yeah, versus dieting.
How about swimming? So swimming is basically a physical exercise that requires
Yeah.
us to like make movements.
Right, but swimming doesn't have we can't say swim is just as important as exercise. It doesn't have like a passive. I think passive is a better word for it than abstract. I'd have to look up what the actual grammatical term for it is. I'm just trying to give you an idea. So, like, we can say swimming is a full body workout, but we can't say swim is a full body workout. There's just swimming, but diet and exercise both have these forms where they have a noun form that has an ing. That's a gerund. You know gerund. A gerund is when we take. It's an ing noun basically. It's when you take a verb, add an ing, and make it a noun. So swimming, yeah, it does have this gerund. In fact, we use the gerund a lot, like let's go swimming. But it doesn't have you can't just say swim and talk about, you could say let's go for a swim, I guess. Yeah, you can say that, but you can't use it as the subject of a sentence without a particle.
Okay.
You could use it like this. The swim is held every year to commemorate the escape of the political prisoners from the island. So let's say that prisoners escaped a long time ago by swimming from the island. So they have this thing where people swim the same distance as them to commemorate that.
Commemorate means to pay respect.
Correct. And so the swim, when we say that, they're talking about a specific event, but we can't use the swim as this sort of abstract, passive subject. Like exercise is beneficial for the body and mind.
Oh yeah, what is meant by memorial? Do we say memorial ground or memorial statue?
Memorial ground
Yeah, memorial ground
or
or
memorial statue. You just say memorial.
just say memorial. It's a plate,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. No. We talked about this before. Plaque is the plate.
Mm-hmm.
A memorial is just anything that's erected to show the memory, like to remember something or someone or an event. Something, someone. It's something that's memorial in memory of, right? So Victory Monument in Bangkok is a memorial for the Thai soldiers in World War II who didn't really do much except for lose to the Japanese. But anyway, so that's a memorial is something that's erected in memory of. Erected, like built. I can use built if you want. Built in memory of a thing, place, event, or person.
Okay.
You could say memorial park, statue, etc. But generally people will just call it a memorial. Unless it's a proper noun, right? Because there are parks that are called the George Washington Memorial Park, the Mao Zedong Memorial Park, right? You have parks that are called a person's name and then memorial and then the name of the park.
So we can actually put two nouns together. It's not necessary that you have to put an adjective and then followed by a noun.
Yeah, but in this case, memorial becomes an adjective.
Oh, okay.
because it modifies the park. Here it's just a noun. But honestly, when you treat them in grammar, they're just all part of the subject or the object. This could either be the subject or the object, um, or it could be part of a prepositional phrase. But let's not overcomplicate it. But yeah, in this context, memorial is the adjective, park is the noun.
Mm-mm. Okay.
But if you say the the memorial was built in 1875, then it's a noun,
Oh, okay.
and it's also the subject of the sentence. So I wanted to talk a little bit about prepositions, specifically what we talked about last time. Hold on. I need to find this. Okay, here we go. So you wanted to know more about for. So why don't you read the way
For,
that, go ahead.
okay, for in multi-word verbs, we often combine for with a verb to form a multi-word verb. She has been caring for her mother for years. It's not a good time to look for it now. We have to go.
Right. So in this case, like the case that you brought up yesterday, like I forget the exact example. I have it written down.
It's confusing.
So when you say to make up for, it actually becomes part of the verb. So it's like a composite verb, multi-word verb. So she's been caring for her mother. He is looking for her mother. She is looking for her lost baby. She is looking for a lost dog. And the example you used, to make up for her mistakes, right?
Or to make up for her loss. Can I say make up for her loss?
Up for lost time. How about that one? That's sort of idiomatic. Well, not idiomatic, but it's a cliche. Making up for lost time is like when you work extra hard to make up for times when you were absent or times when you weren't working hard.
Oh, okay.
Like someone who's like super career driven in their 30s, or like who's going to school in their 30s and trying to get an education, you could say, oh, they're making up for lost time.
Oh, okay.
Or in a very like easy example, you could say, oh, the runner is making up for lost time, like literally he's running faster to make up for the time he lost when he was running slower earlier in the race.
Okay. All right. She's making.
So it's
But we
not a,
can also say she is making up for her mistake, right? Means she's doing something to
yeah, she's atoning. You know that one?
atoning.
To atone, it means to do something as a way of earning forgiveness.
Oh, okay. She's making up for her mistake. That means she is atoning
Yeah.
for her mistake. She is atoning for her mistake.
I'm going to use mistakes, plural. She is, because that's more common. She is atoning for her mistakes.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
say past mistakes. I'll share this with you, by the way.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to worry about taking notes.
Thank you.
Okay, so anyway, I have to check on something with Chu, the new student. Okay, anyway, that's fine. So here I left this blank. So I wanted to talk about something that you would hear in conversation fairly often, but something that I haven't heard you use before, which is like, how have you been? How has she been? How have they been? You're familiar with this?
Yeah, in written context, I'm quite familiar, but I don't really use it in my conversations because I find it very hard for me to ask
Okay.
questions.
So I thought we would do a speaking exercise with it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask you a question and you're gonna give me a response based on the question.
Okay.
Make something up.
So
So I'm going to say, how has she been since her parents passed away?
she has been she has been she has been moving out, but I cannot say moving out, right? She has been moving out, or
Moving
she
on.
has been grieving.
She's
She has been grieving for almost a year after her parents passed away.
You don't have to repeat the part that I said. So just say she's been grieving for nearly a year,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So we're talking about something like how something's been going. All right, I'll ask you another one. How have you been since we graduated from high school?
I've been, can I say something else? Like I ever since I graduated from high school, I took up my foundation course, my pre-U course.
Mm-hmm.
Or you want me to like follow I have to use the word have. I
Why
have
don't you
been.
ask me and I'll give you an example. I'll give you a sample answer.
Repeat the same question.
Yeah.
Okay. How have you been since we graduated from high school?
I've been doing well, living with my parents and helping out around the house. Something like that.
Oh, so you are using the word have in your response.
Right.
Okay.
I've been blah, blah, blah. And keep it casual, you know.
Have
Uh,
been doing well.
don't be overly formal.
Okay.
All right. So, how has he been since they broke up?
How has he been since they broke up? He has been partying so hard after they broke up.
Good. So keep it casual, like, oh, he's been going crazy with the partying or something like that.
Oh, he's been crazy with the partying.
Hmm.
Okay. Since they broke up. Okay. And
You can
then
you can use crazy as an adjective, like crazy with something, like he's been going crazy with the partying, or he's been crazy with rage, or he's been crazy with whatever.
what is rager?
Rage. Oh, rager.
Yeah.
Is this about that concert?
Concert? You mean
The
the
term
musical?
rager has been trending because of a concert in America.
Rager? This is the first time I've heard of this word. What
Okay,
is
you're
rager?
asking about rage.
Oh yeah, rager and also pager. What is pager? Because I heard of a song.
Pager, it's an old device. Before people had cell phones, they had pagers, and if you call a certain number, then it'll show up on that person's pager, and then it'll tell you to call that number. So it's an old system before cell phones were common. Because a
Oh,
pager is small, you can put it on your pants, like on your belt.
oh, okay.
Here, I'll just show you. It's easier to show.
Nokia 3310. You mean that? Oh, okay. I've
This
never seen this before.
really, they were like They were everywhere in the 80s and 90s. Maybe
Oh,
not in Asia, but in America they were everywhere. I remember my parents had them. So like
oh, okay.
you give someone your pager number.
So it's even way older than the Nokia cell phone, right? Because before
Oh,
that they have the button, the cell phones with lots of buttons, and then you just press the button.
yeah. And they didn't really look like this isn't a common one. That's a two-way pager. They looked like this, exactly like this.
Oh, okay.
So you would give someone you would say, "Here's my pager number," and then they would call that number, and then when they call that number, it has their callback number.
Oh,
So then you
interesting.
can know that that person tried to contact you, and then you
Mm.
can call them back. It's like an old way to communicate. And
Telegram is way back then, right?
yeah,
It's
Telegram is like
way
100 years old.
okay.
I don't, I think there used to be, Western Union?
Western Union?
Yeah, you
No.
know them? They actually used to be their whole business was sending telegrams.
Oh, okay. So Western Union I thought Western Union is a transaction company.
They
They
are
help
now.
us to.
They're a wire transfer company, which means they specialize in sending money. But back when they were first founded, they were a telegram company.
Or Telegram company. So it has a long history, right?
Super long.
Super long. Oh, okay.
Here, check this out.
But now they don't specialize in
This is a telegram.
sending message or movies. They are
Yeah,
not
we don't do this.
specialized in the telco, right?
This is obsolete, meaning it's not used anymore.
Mm,
So, and actually, instead of, how people say full stop? You know why they say full stop?
period.
Yeah, but do you know why a period is called a full stop?
No.
It's because when you're dictating a telegram, you say stop.
Mm-hmm.
So you would say, if you want to make a sentence, you would say, here it says, "Congratulations, we are proud of our team, full stop," right? So you'll have, or stop. Let me try to find one. Here. See the periods?
Mm-hmm.
So, delighted at wonderful news. You are being chosen president of the American College of Surgeons and know what it must mean to you. Much love to you and Mrs. Rankin. Full stop. Brenda Kelly. Full stop. So it's like I don't know how it worked if someone had to like go to the Western Union office and then read it, but I think they would probably just write it down. And then a full stop would translate to a period. Show
Oh,
you.
but they don't use it anymore. It doesn't exist anymore.
Um, damn, it's just showing the app. Yeah, it's obsolete. I don't know. Let me find a video of this from an old movie and then I'll send it to you later. Because I don't want to waste time in our lesson just looking it up on YouTube. And I have something else that I wanted to go over with you. I don't think we'll have time to go over the whole thing in this lesson, but I wanted to at least start it.
Mm-mm.
In your messages, you talked about wanting to be more fluent in just everyday conversation and more confident.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I got a script from a TV show and I have part of the video. The other part is blocked by HBO.
HBO?
Yeah, it was The Sopranos, which is a good show that was on HBO, but it HBO copyright striked the one part of the scene, but I have the second part of the scene saved on YouTube. So we can actually see two people having a very realistic argument. They're mad at each other and they're arguing, and then we can read through and look at the way that they interact, like the way real people would talk. Because I think this is a great example of organic conversation.
Organic means raw one.
So yeah, raw, natural.
Okay.
So I use the spacing here. I really should double space, but whatever. Each one of these is changing characters. It's just between two people.
Okay.
So yeah, okay, there. That's good. So each, do you want to watch the video first or do you want to go through the conversation?
Yes, we can watch the video first.
Okay. All right, I don't think this is super confusing. I'm just gonna leave it the way the punctuation. There we go. And I made some annotations to explain stuff that is in context. All right. So first, because the video picks up right here, I think at fuck you. Sorry about the language. So
Okay.
we'll start here. So hi. And then why don't you be the woman? So you start with hi.
Hi.
Say what?
What? So I will reply you what, right?
No, I would reply what. Okay. And you say,
I was wondering when you were gonna move those seats down to the garage.
seriously? That's what you came out here to talk to me about?
They're on the lawn. They will ruin the grass.
Bad for the grass. Bad for the grass.
I can't put the sprinklers on over there, Tony, without the seats getting wet. They are your seats. I don't want to wreck them.
I'll get right on it.
Why do you have to make even this little thing so difficult? Wait a moment, is it busy from here?
A little bit.
Wait a moment. 2点已经没有上课嘞。Sorry.
So you say, why?
Why do you have to make even this little thing so difficult?
What reason could you have for talking to me about theater seats except to bust my balls?
Bust my balls? What does it mean by bust my balls?
Give me a hard time.
Oh, give me a hard time. Okay. I wanted to water while I was out.
Yeah, right.
Beat you.
That's gonna cost you $3.
You know what, Tony? What is done is done. We are where we are, and it's for the best. But just for the record, or it might even interest you to know that I might actually have gone on with your cheating and your bullshit. If your attitude around here had been even the least bit loving, cooperative,
Cooperative.
interested.
Whose idea was Whitecaps? And by the way, Whitecaps is the name of the beach house that he was gonna buy for her.
Sorry, can you come again?
I just said whose idea was Whitecaps. The parentheses I added, meaning like Pat added, because it explains Whitecaps is the house he was gonna buy for her, like a beach house, vacation house. Okay, and you say,
It's just a bigger version of an emerald ring. So you can keep on with your other life. You don't know me at all. I know you better than anybody.
sorry. I say you don't know me at all.
I know you better than anybody, Tony. Even your friends, which is probably why you hate me.
Hate you? Well, don't worry. I'm going to hell when I die. Nice thing to say to a person heading into an MRI.
You know, Tony, I have always been sorry I said that. You were my guy. You could be so sweet. Nobody could make me laugh like you.
Carmela, who the beep did you think I was when you married me? You knew my father. You grew up around Dickie Montesanti and your Uncle Eddie. Where do you get off acting surprised and miffed when there are women on the side? You knew the deal.
Deal?
Your mother can talk all she wants about what's his name. You and I both know that the other boyfriend you were debating marrying was Jerry Toofy with his father's snowplow business. And we know now that that wouldn't have suited you at all.
You really don't hear me, do you? You think for me it's all about things. No,
Oh, sorry, this is me. No, I forced all this beep on you. What you really crave is a little Hyundai and a simple gold heart on a chain.
you're so effing hateful.
Can I tell you something, Tony? Oh, that's you, sorry.
Can I tell you something, Tony?
Don't pretend like I got a choice.
The last year I have been dreaming and fantasizing and in love with Burial.
What?
When he'd come to pick you up, I will I will look forward to it all night long in bed next to you. Those nights when you were actually in the bed and he would ring the doorbell, I felt like my heart would come out of my chest. He would smile and would talk. And then you would come down the stairs. And I felt probably like someone who is terminally ill. And someone they managed to forget it for a minute and then it all comes back.
He talked to you? Oh, poor you.
He made me feel like I mattered.
You asked me what Irina's cousin has that you don't have, and I thought about it because it's a pretty good question. Yeah, she's sexy enough, even with one pin gone. That means like leg gone. But that's not it. I could converse with her because she had something to say.
I am here, I have things to say.
Besides, bring the chairs down and did you sign the living trust? She's a grown woman who's been kicked around. She's been on her own and she's had to fight and struggle. Sorry, I didn't do this correctly. Uh, there we go. You say, unlike me, is that it?
Unlike me, is that it? Who the F wanted it like this? Who the F pissed and moaned at just the idea of me with a effing real estate license?
Free to sit back for 20 effing years and fiddle with the air conditioning and effing bitch and complain and effing bitch to me, to your priest. Eff it.
Who knew all this time you wanted Tracy and Hepburn? Tony, what about the 1,000 other effing pigs you had your dick in? The strippers, the cocktail waitresses? Were you best friends with all of them too? You effing hypocrite. Hypocrite or hypocrite?
Hypocrite. It
Hypo
means, you know what it means, right?
yeah, that's me. You're fake.
You speak one thing and your actions are a different way. So it picks up right after the chairs part.
Oh, you!
Fuck you.
It's gonna cost you $3.
You know what, Tony? What's done is done. We are where we are, and it's for the best. Just for the record, or it might even interest you to know that I might actually have gone on with your cheating and your bullshit if your attitude around here had been even the least bit loving, cooperative, interested.
Whose idea was Whitecaps?
Just a bigger version of an emerald ring, so you can keep on with your other life.
You don't know me at all.
I know you better than anybody, Tony, even your friends. which is probably why you hate me.
Hate you. But don't worry, I'm going to hell when I die. Nice thing to say to a person heading into an MRI.
You know, Tony, I've always been sorry I said that. You were my guide. You could be so sweet. Nobody could make me laugh like you.
Carmela, who the fuck did you think I was when you married me, huh? You knew my father. You grew up around Dickie Moltisanti and your Uncle Eddie. Where do you get off acting all surprised and miffed when there were women on the side? You knew the deal.
Deal?
And your mother can talk all she wants about what's his name in his fucking chain of drugstores. You and I both know that the other boyfriend you were debating marrying was Jerry Toofy with his father's snowplow business. And we now know that that wouldn't have suited you at all.
You really don't hear me, do you? You think for me it's all about things.
Oh, no, I forced all this shit on you. What you really crave is a little Hyundai and a simple gold heart on a chain.
You were so fucking hateful. Can I tell you something, Tony?
Don't pretend like I got a choice.
The last year, I have been dreaming and fantasizing and in love with Furio. Every morning when he'd come to pick you up, I would look forward to it all night long in bed next to you. Those nights when you were actually in the bed. And he would ring the doorbell. I felt like my heart would come out of my chest. He would smile and we'd talk. And then you would come down the stairs. And I felt probably like someone who was terminally ill and somehow they managed to forget it for a minute. And then it all comes back.
He talked to you all, poor you.
He made me feel like I mattered.
You asked me the other day what Irene's cousin has that you don't have. And I thought about it because it's a pretty good fucking question. And yeah, she's sexy enough even with the one pin gone, but that's not it. I could converse with her because she had something to say.
I am here. I have things to say.
Besides, bring the fucking chairs down and did you sign the living trust? She's a grown fucking woman who's been kicked around and she's been on her own and she's had to fight and struggle.
Unlike me, is that it? Who the fuck wanted it like this? Who the fuck pissed and molded just the idea of me with the fucking real estate license?
Free to sit back for 20 fucking years and fiddle with the air conditioning and fucking bitch and complain and fucking bitch to me, to your priest. Fuck it.
Who knew all this time you wanted Tracy and Hepburn? Well, Tony, what about the 1,000 other fucking pigs you had your dick in over the years? The strippers, the cocktail waitresses. Were you best friends with all of them, too? You fucking hypocrite.
All right, so yeah, I thought that was a really good scene, argument, whatever, a way to look at conversation organically. I know there's a lot
You
of
actually typed every single word yourself.
what's that?
You actually type every single
No,
word.
I just formatted it. I took it from the movie script or from the TV script. I just formatted it to try to break it up into two speakers.
I see.
Yeah, that would take.
Oh. Like,
Okay.
take you lots of time.
Anyway, so if that was helpful to you, we can do more exercises like that.
Yeah. For me, I think maybe I don't know the context in front. I don't know what's going on, but I only know about that they have fights and then they are jealous. There is jealousy between both of them.
Yeah.
Then
The emotions, though, I think.
and
right?
then is it something like the man thought that the lady there, her wife, I mean his wife, is it his wife?
Mhm.
He thought that she's a gold digger. She was a gold digger, is it?
Sort of, yeah, yeah. He said that he thinks that she just wants things, and she says no, she wants like love.
Oh, okay. And
And
then
he's been
she,
cheating on her like for years with many different people.
huh? Sorry?
He's been unfaithful. I think you got that.
Oh, you mean the guy? He
Mhm.
was unfaithful. So that means he had lots of girls.
Right. And his point was like, oh, the reason that he cheated on her was she's so boring and all she does is be a housewife. But then she pointed out that, okay, what about all the other people that he cheated on her with who were just random women who had nothing? Like, he's trying to say, like, oh, they were my friends, but she's pointing out that he's a hypocrite, that's not really, that he's just a cheater. Anyway, so let's work more on conversation next lesson. I got to prepare for Chew.
True. Okay, no problem. Thanks so much for the lesson.
No problem. See you next time.
See you and goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye.